I'm not caping for Iman Schubert. Okay, I'm not caping at all. Matter of fact, to my great shame, I've never watched Iman Schubert play. Okay, I've been out of professional sports since the Colin Kaepernick deal. You know, I was irritated that the situation with the country and politicized professional sports, and it took my enjoyment out of the game because of the extremism and shit. So I never watched Eamon Schubert play. Okay, this is not a cape for Eamon Schubert. It's not a clapback and shit. But as you can see in this picture, this is a supposedly Tiana Taylor's new guy. All right, this is a new guy and shit. And I've made my thoughts about her known in the past and shit, as well as this fucking video. And I want to say, like, if you look at it, she found a guy. All right, use that term loosely and shit, especially considering today's politics and all that bullshit. In the situation, okay, with the country, how, the decline of it and everything and shit, but going down on an interpersonal level, my opinion only and shit, okay. Tiana Taylor found a guy that looks as much like her as humanly possible. Shit, he's masculine looking and shit, but also my gaydar is going off and shit, and I'm pretty accurate in my fucking gaydar and shit. But I'm not saying the dude's gay, but she found a guy that could be a twin brother and shit. Okay, and it just something weird about this guy. He's a tall, ripped guy. Got the look and everything. Got the right complexion and shit. But them, sisterhood's draws falling down. But there's something weird about him and shit. It's the same weird ass feeling I get when I see that guy that weird looking guy that played Black Manta in them Aquaman movies and shit. That guy had the same weird kind of sexually horrific look in his eye and shit. Like he had been through some shit, or he would be capable of doing some shady shit and shit if you don't watch him. The kind of guy you don't want to take an open drink from. I'm not talking about this fucking guy, okay? But I'm just saying that this guy is giving down low vibes, okay? And they look like brother and sister and shit. She found a motherfucker that looked just like her and shit. She looks like a dude and shit. I made no joke about it. In the past, I referred to her as a Blackula, okay? She looked like a motherfucking Blackula and shit. No diss to William Marshall or nothing. But this is not a flex and shit. And I look at Iman Schubert and shit, he has a similar masculine look. He has this dead eye stare and shit. And she has this dead eye stare. And this motherfucker has this dead eye stare. It's weird. It's given a dual beard, okay? They look like they're each other's fucking beard. And if you know as far as Hollywood goes and shit, okay? Reality is what you make it and shit. I'm not trying to cape for this motherfucker, but this is not a flex and shit. I feel like Tiana Taylor is a stud.
Say, why don't you pick on somebody your own disposition?
Oh, please, Mr. Barroom Brawler. Don't hurt me or anything like that.
I've been doing a lot of I've been doing a lot of episodes and commentaries that make it seem like my channel is about some baser level things and shit. There's like other channels that cover celebrity bullshit. I cover it for my own specific reasons and shit. This is a safe space for straight black men and shit. Okay? I cover it for my own fucking reasons. I know how it looks and shit. I want to assure you that I adhere to my SYSBM mantra. Okay? That's saving yourself, black man, and shit. Okay? It's not fucking with nobody or nothing. It's simply, having enough information and common sense to make informed decisions that enhance your life. Okay? That's the way I look at it. That's the way I explain SYSBM and shit. Is having that information, having the wherewithal, common sense and shit, self-preservation, to, maintain and enhance your own fucking life because you're living your life for yourself and shit, okay? Right? So, that being said, I want to tell you that, personally speaking, I hate covering celebrity splits and divorces and all that bullshit, but I will if I can find a teachable moment in it shit. I want to talk about, the divorce of Teyana Taylor and Eamon Schubert. Now, I said her name first because that's all that we see. This guy's mostly low key, or maybe I don't know because I haven't fucked with professional sports in a very long time, since before the days of Colin Kaepernick. And I stopped right around the time of Colin Kaepernick because of I hated the the political, undertones of, everything that followed him taking a fucking knee when they should have just not referred to it and not talked about it. Okay? So the bullshit. I don't care if the orange man was pissed off that that guy took a knee, but it fucked up professional sports for me. Okay? Then there's some other bullshit too that I'm just tired of. And the Kyrie Irving thing made sure that I would not return to watching the NBA for the foreseeable future and shit. Because I was disgusted by that. Now, here I am talking about Teyana Taylor and Eamon Schubert and shit. And I've made a video about that before and shit. I have. Okay? Because, I feel like we should believe our eyes instead of what we hear. Right? And there's a certain feeling that I thought about this interview that she did with, I think, Lori Harvey, where they were just talking shit, post Michael B. Jordan. The two women sitting up trading anecdotes and bullshit. And I thought it was fuck. I thought it was bullshit. Every time I look at Teyana Taylor, everybody talks about how beautiful she is and everything, but I see a man. Okay, when I look at her, I see a fucking man. When I see her mannerisms, I see a fucking man and shit. And after I looked at the BET Awards and shit, circa 2024, I just feel like she's a stud. Okay, and she's not even really that, she's kind of down low undercover and shit. She's a straight person and shit for the most part and shit. I don't care that she had children. I know a lot of studs, in my life. I met a lot of studs that had bunches of kids and shit. Okay, and they said they were studs from back in day one. And I feel like a whole marriage to this guy was a grift, a sexual rainbow grift. Right? I know how that sounds and shit, and I don't give a fuck. Alright? I don't give a fuck. These women, a lot of these women, man, they're thinking financially. Okay? She's thinking, her body, her everything. She's a model and a choreographer and an actress and all this bullshit. And, she got her come up by being with this guy and shit. She was doing shit before. Who gave a fuck, right? And she's the girlfriend of the NBA player shit. Alright? And that comes with a certain level of cachet. And I hate, ever since the whole Joe Budden thing, I feel like he made it in vogue. It was around before that, but, really in the hood, Joe Budden is responsible for all these ratchet come-ups, these ratchet female come-ups and shit. This is no different to me and shit. Okay? She came up, she has a supposed net worth of $5 million. Now it's probably 10 million or more and shit. She had some children with this man and shit. And, divorced him and shit. And he was not cheating. He was not doing shit. And even if he was cheating, so fucking what? They're both in show business and shit, okay? They both travel in certain circles and shit. The DD circles, okay, don't mean shit. I don't care with no actress talking about somebody cheated on them and shit. In fucking modern day Hollywood, even old day Hollywood back in the 20s was even more scandalous than shit. It was so scandalous they had to have a governing body and shit just to regulate shit for public consumption. You can look that up. You go read a book called Hollywood Babylon if you don't fucking believe me. Alright? Alright? Yeah. Teyana Taylor got like a $1 million payout. She got to keep all of her businesses and vehicles and 4 homes over $10 million. I'm sorry for reporting this and shit. I know I sound like some of these brain dead hyenas that be reporting on this shit. But it's important to say that shit. She gets to keep all of that shit, plus the guy has to pay for the private schools and shit, and he has to pay like $8,000 a month child support. I'm like, she has now doubled her net worth in acquisitions and shit. And what is he really left with and shit? The reason I'm making this goddamn video is because, I just want to be honest and shit. I think that this Teyana Taylor is a stud. Okay? What I mean is a lesbian that is a masculine lesbian, okay? A woman that adheres to a masculine, trait and shit. Okay, and it's no big deal. The most sobering thing for me in my personal life and everything is probably between the age of I don't know, like 23 to current now time and shit. I met women, a lot of different women, shit from different backgrounds, and some women from the alternative community that they could code switch sexually like you wouldn't believe in shit, okay? And I know to out myself and I've been with some rough ass acting chicks and shit with a masculine. I've been with some chicks that probably, they said they were studs and shit, but they got down like a porn star and shit. They was feminine and all that kind of shit, and then got up and put on some baggy pants and a skull cap and crip walked out of the bitch. Okay, so the reason I'm making this fucking video, I'm just gonna let that hang in there. The reason I'm making this goddamn video is because the Godfather and shit back in the day. You know what I'm talking about. He said winter was coming and shit. That and a bunch of other people in I guess you'd say the manosphere and shit, and other avenues across ethnic lines and shit, have said that winter's coming and we're gonna see some desperate behavior from these goddamn women and shit. And we see a ton of women living in their cars and making these goddamn videos, and they never stop dragging us and shitting on us and everything. So what we've been telling you, SYSBM community and shit, and I hate saying that because we really shouldn't be defined as such. We're just individuals. I'd say it's tantamount that you keep your fucking head on swivel regarding your finances and every goddamn thing if you're going to be engaged in relationships with women that you may not know what they're really on about. Okay? Because a lot of them are out there looking for resources. Okay? They're looking for a place to lay their head and shit and get their ducks in a row till they can monkey wrench to the next situation and shit. It's your job not to be that next situation. All right? It's your job not to be that next situation. This woman presents like a man. Okay? She presents like a man. She's not making no bones about it and shit. And even though she's supposedly heterosexual, she has picked a gentleman that could almost be her brother. In appearance, so he has there's a weird gay ass vibe to the new guy and shit. When I look at Iman Shumpert and shit, they match up like they look more like siblings than she picked motherfuckers that kind of look like her and shit, or have that same kind of energy. All right, that's her preference. I'm not shitting on her as a person or nothing outside of the sexual grift and shit, okay? Because this guy, like, she fleeced the fuck out of this guy. She didn't have to do that. She was already wealthy and she had businesses and everything. Why couldn't the settlement be like $5 million? She gets $5 million. I think she got more than $5 million in the actual cash payout, plus businesses and cars and homes and shit. I'm like, why does she need all that shit when they're co-parenting properly? She said they co-parenting properly and shit. They go to mediation. I don't know if he got married with or without a prenup, but I'm gonna tell you, motherfuckers, even if you're a fry cook, you need a prenuptial agreement and a postnuptial agreement and shit. That is tantamount. We need to. That has to be standard operating procedure going forward. If you're gonna you're gonna play with your life like that by being in a fucked up relationship that may be one-sided and wholly transactional and beneficial to the other party and shit, the female. All right. There's a lot of us, when we get a divorce, we just want to get the fuck out of here. We really don't care. But imagine if you you're up in years and shit. You're in your retirement years, and then they pull you pull the ejection button, inject your ass up out of the bitch. And now you're where you at now? You down bad, right? That's the point of this shit. Okay, we got to stop giving these motherfuckers a leg up. Don't be standing at the bottom of the ladder with your fingers in the lock to help her get up the ladder by stepping on your motherfucking head. And then she get up there slamming that door in your face and shit. I don't know how much money Eamon Shumpert is left with and shit. I don't know what his prospects are. They're pretty damn good, better than the average Joe. And this sexual grift comes from the top to the bottom. So it don't really matter how much you make it shit. You just don't make their life comfortable with shit because they want to make everything transactional. It's nothing organic anymore. Everything's about this and that and the other. What can you do? What can the resources? What can you do for me? What have you done for me lately? I had a bitch tell me that after I had gone to the military to because there was no, we had no resources and there was nothing going on in the city I was in and shit. So I had to bite a bullet and do what I thought was best to for a family and shit. The family I thought I had, or thought I was making with this bitch. And after I went through that shit, she had a disparaging attitude about my military service. Okay, I'm not gonna go any further. Shit, it pretty sucks. It sucked, man. It really sucked. It was very sobering for me. I never even told her how that shit made me feel when she shit on my military service with the line, "What have you done for me lately?" That was then, this is now, and all that old kind of shit. Okay, you could do a ton of shit for a woman, and they still gonna get out and take your bag with them and shit. All right, and because I didn't have these resources when I was younger and shit. I want to at least be candid and honest with you guys out there so that you can make an informed decision about your life and shit, about, the quality of it. It's about the quality of life. I don't want to see you guys, messed up and shit. I want you to be okay. So, I pulled out this Iman Schubert bullshit. Okay? I don't give a fuck about Iman Schubert. I don't give a fuck about Tiana Taylor, but I will say that I think she is a lesbian. I think she's a stud. I think she's undercover. Okay? I think she's more comfortable being with women than men and shit. Okay? It's just a feeling. It's just got like a in your face kind of feeling. It's not like a New York thing or nothing. It's just something like, it's something about her that's just like a hard as a fucking brick. Okay? And a lot of people always talking about this chick was like hot and shit. And when I looked at it, I saw a dude. I saw a dude with a box. Alright? Now you guys can see a dude with a box and shit. You look really hard at her. That's why we made the comedic meme, regarding her. I married a Blackula. Because I feel like she looked like motherfucking Blackula from the 70s. Oh, man. I want to apologize to Miss Taylor and shit. And I use that term loosely. I'm not actually self-identified. We live in an Orwellian society now where anybody can be anything. I can say I identify as a fucking dresser and shit. And you have to call me the dresser or something. I identify as a shrubbery. It's all fucked up as shit, man. I'm 55 fucking years old, and I never thought I would live to see this kind of society emerge and shit. And I cringe at what coming down the pipe. But I know one thing. I'm gonna do what I can to help out, my fellow brothers, young and old, until I'm in the box. All right, and I made this video because I don't want you to be a victim of a sexual grift and shit. There's a lot of women out there that's gonna pretend to be something they're not, just to get resources and shit. To have some comfort and shit at your fucking expense, and then they're gonna pull the button. It's gonna be a narcissistic discard that's gonna leave you floating in the abyss. All right, and I don't want to see that happen. Okay. Anyway, I'll do the outro. Kings, keep your head on the swivel, protect your bag, and above all else, do not make fallen women or undercover studs the stewards of your home. Do not make fallen women, undercover studs, and narcissists the mothers of your goddamn children, because your children are your future. They are your legacy. Okay? I'm out. All praise to the Most High.